crimes and 6 murders by a single, perfect piece of DNA, an algorithm that points to 51 strangulations, or 85 bodies pulled from a river. The only thing they all have in common, they were all solved with the most embarrassing, terrifying truth. The killers were ghosts. This is the story of the 3 ghost killers who terrified the world. We're going to outline the journey of how investigators chased phantoms and what the existence of these non-existent killers tells us about the true crime world. Some mysteries are never meant to be solved, but here we dig them up. Our journey begins in 2007 with the attack on 2 German police officers. A brutal ambush, shots to the head, and the perp vanishes. This was the launch point for one of the largest manhunts in European history for the Phantom of Heilbronn. Her DNA, perfect, uncontaminated, was found on the patrol car, and once they ran it, the map of her crimes exploded. She was already a decade-old killer linked to a strangulation in 1993, then another in 2001. She was a woman without a face who was robbing and killing across Germany, France, and Austria. When 3 men were found dead in a body of water in 2008, 2 shot and 1 strangled, investigators knew the Phantom had arrived. She was elusive. She was a master criminal. She was a serial killer. The world knew her name. Years passed. The case was cold until a suspect was arrested on a completely unrelated charge. When his DNA was processed, it came back as a perfect match for the Phantom of Heilbronn. But the Phantom was a woman, and this suspect was a man. The most perfect serial killer in Europe was busted not by a detective but by a quality control failure. The killer DNA belonged to a female worker at the factory that manufactured the cotton swabs. They were chasing a ghost created by a bad batch of evidence. A terrifying, non-existent killer who stole justice from dozens of real victims. A killer that never existed. But the terrifying part is, not every ghost killer is the result of faulty equipment. Sometimes they're the result of a terrifying pattern we refuse to acknowledge. Next, the water. In Manchester, UK, the rumors began with over 85 mysterious drownings in the city's canals since 2008. The victimology was hauntingly similar. Young, intoxicated men vanishing after a night out, only to be pulled from the water later. The city whispered about the Manchester pusher. Then there's the Pacific Northwest, the Salish Sea, where between 2007 and 2019, 21 severed human feet were found in running shoes, washing ashore like a horrifying tide. Who was cutting off the feet was a dismemberment killer using the ocean as a burial ground. The investigation / the real horror. Police ultimately revealed that the pusher and the Salish sea killer were both terrifyingly mundane. The pusher, a lethal combination of binge drinking, dark canals, and freezing water. The feet, marine animals separated the body, and the buoyant running shoes protected the feet, turning them into ocean messages. The killer wasn't human, it was nature. We end with a ghost killer who may be the most terrifying of all, because their existence is proven by cold, hard data. In 2018, the Murder Accountability Project, using an algorithm proven to catch real serial killers, published a report. The Chicago Strangler has claimed up to 51 victims since 2001, all women, mostly African American, all strangled. The police vehemently deny it. There is absolutely no information to suggest that this is the work of a serial killer. They say the DNA crimes are isolated, the emotional peak, the true why. So, what if the scariest stories weren't stories at all? What if the killer who never existed is actually a pattern of tragedy that the system is unwilling to see? The Chicago Strangler may not be one person, but the result of systemic neglect and violence against vulnerable communities, a pattern that looks, feels, and acts exactly like a serial killer, but has no single face for police to arrest. That is the true, terrifying crime. The Phantom was a defective product. The pusher was an accident. The feet were nature. But the Strangler? That's where the mystery really lives. The next time a killer's name echoes in the news, remember these stories. Remember the Phantom who only existed because of a bad swab. Sometimes the deadliest monster isn't a person, but a perfect storm of failure, coincidence, or denial. If you made it this far, you know the truth. The dark isn't something you run from, it's something you study. Hit the like button to spread this truth, and subscribe so you never look away again. Let me know in the comments, do you believe the Chicago Strangler is one person or a pattern? Until the next time we dig up a secret.